Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via YouTube streaming and also via Skype. Somehow we are not coming this morning live. Somehow we are not coming live this morning via Facebook streaming. We are coming to you live via YouTube streaming and Skype group. Give me a few minutes for Skype to connect. Trying to connect to Skype. We are live on YouTube streaming, Facebook streaming is somehow not available this morning. Skype is also not connected. The Skype is not connecting. So we are only live via YouTube streaming. Awareness beyond sense perception. Awareness beyond sense perception. I have heard a man was traveling. He reached to a place and he heard about a sheikh, a Sufi master there, a wali. He wanted to meet him, seek his blessings and teachings. So he went to his dargah, and after greeting him, he asked the sheikh, "Sheikh, give me your message or teaching." Sheikh said, "Remember one of my teachings forever. If you cannot consider Rab is the name that used for Allah, for God. If you cannot consider, the first and the foremost thing is consider Allah better than, is supreme, better than all of us. And if you cannot consider Him better than you, then at least consider Him equal to you." The man said, "What kind of teaching is this? Every Muslim considers Allah as the supreme authority and considers Him to be better than anyone else." So the Pir insisted and repeated the sentence, "Remember this teaching always. Consider Allah, Rabb, to be better than you, and if somehow you cannot consider Him better than you, then consider Him equal to you." After this, he wanted to bid farewell. The Pir said, "Night has approached. The journey is far. Journey is long. Stay here tonight. In the morning after breakfast and so, you can continue your journey." To this the man agreed. He stayed in his room. After saying his morning prayers, breakfast was served. He straight into his room. The breakfast platter had freshly made leavened paratha, the Indian way, roasted chicken, butter, and also along with that it had the leftover dal from the last night, and also the leftover roti, the bread, leavened bread, and also along with that also had some rotis that were a few days old. As he sat to have his morning breakfast, a man approached his door and he said, "I am hungry for 3 days. In the name of Rabb, give me something to eat. Give me something to eat." At this, the man took out the leftover dal and leftover leavened bread and gave it to the man. After that, he himself consumed the freshly made leavened bread, roasted chicken and butter. After having the breakfast, he wanted to bid farewell to the Pir. So he went to him, and after usual greeting, The Pir said, "You are leaving now, but remember that teaching. Consider Rab to be better than you. If you cannot, then consider him at least equal to you, at the same plane." And this man got furious. What kind of teaching is this? This is incumbent on each Muslim. He considers Allah to be the supreme, the better than all. And you are telling me repeatedly this. At this, the Pir got into a state of jalal. His face became radiant. He said, "You ignorant one, you did not understand the teaching. This morning, the breakfast was served on a platter. The freshly made leavened bread, roasted chicken, butter, and along with that was leftover dal and bread. A man came hungry for 3 days and he asked for something to eat in the name of Rab, in the name of that omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient God. And you gave him the leftover bread and dal. And you ate the freshly made food yourself. And you say that you consider Allah to be supreme. If you had considered Rabb to be better than you would have given the freshly made food, the roasted chicken, butter, and leavened bread to him and have yourself consumed the leftover food. You did not consider him better than you, and you did not even consider him equal to you. Have you considered him equal to you, then you would have shared half of the freshly made food with him and half you would have kept it. Half of the leftover food you would have considered, you would have shared with him between both of you. But you did not do, and you say that it is incumbent. What kind of teaching is this? It is incumbent on every Muslim to consider Allah to be the supreme, the better than anyone else. But you did not understand this teaching. Such is the situation of each one of us. When someone comes at our doorstep to ask for something, to beg for something, clothes, we give him the oldest clothes. When he asks for some food, we give him the leftover foods, never fresh. And consider theoretically that Allah is this Rabb, is the better, the supreme, better than anyone else. Always remember that. Consider Rabb. Rabb can appear in any form. Can appear in any form. And Hindus consider the guest as an embodiment of God and give him more respect than himself. It is considered as incumbent upon a Hindu, but rarely does it happen. Rarely does it happen. Awareness beyond sense perception. What is awareness beyond sense perception? Awareness beyond sense perception. Awareness is always beyond senses. That is, organs of action and organs of perception. Beyond objects too. In Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, Shiva spoke to Devi his concept about all this. He says, when vividly aware through some particular sense, keep in the awareness. You see through eyes. Remember, you see through eyes. See through the eyes. Eyes is the medium. Eyes cannot see on its own. Eyes are the device through which you see, and that which sees through the eyes is not the eyes. You see through them. The seer is hidden behind the eyes, the invisible. Eyes are just the opening, just the window. But you go on thinking that you see through the eyes. You go on thinking that you hear through the ears. No one has ever heard by the ears. You hear through the ears. The one who is hearing, the one who is seeing, the one who is speaking is hidden behind. Ears are just a receptive organ. Eyes is a receptive organ. There is something else that makes your senses alive. The eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the vocal cord. These sense organs are receptors because these receive message or a stimuli. I give you a loving touch, a hand clasp. The hand is not touching you. Instead, I am touching you, the invisible, but I am touching you through the instrument of eyes, through the instrument of hands. Hands is just a medium, an instrument. Thus there can be two types of touch. When I touch you and when I just avoid touch. I can touch your hand and avoid touch. I may not be there present in my hand when hand touches you. I may have withdrawn my sense. Try this and you will feel a different, a distant feeling. This we call in our day-to-day language as the touch was very cold or it is warm. Try this and you will feel a different, a distant feeling. Put your hand on someone and withdraw yourself. A dead hand is there, not you. You are not available to that touch. And if the other is sensitive, he will feel a dead hand and he will say that the touch is cold. He will feel insulted because of this cold touch. You are deceiving. You are just showing that you are touching, but indeed you are not touching. Women are very sensitive about it. You cannot deceive them in any way. They have a greater sensitivity of touch, of body touch, so they know that the touch is cold. The husband may be talking beautiful things. He may have brought flowers. He may be saying things like, I love you, but his touch will show that he's not there. And women have an instinctive feeling when you are with them and when you are not with them. It is difficult to deceive them unless you are a master. Unless you are a master of your own self, you cannot deceive them. but a master would not like to become a husband. That is the difficulty. The master would not like to become a husband because that is the difficulty. Whatsoever you say will be false. Your touch will show it. Children too are very sensitive. You cannot deceive them. You may pat them, but they know this pat is dead. If your hand is not flowing energy, how it is dead and how it is alive? When you put your hand or you touch and the energy flows in the form of warmth, it is alive. If your hand is not flowing energy, a loving energy, then it is just a dead thing is being used. When you are present in your hand, in your touch, in your totality, when you have moved, when the center of your being has moved to the hand, when your soul is there, then the touch has a different quality, a different feeling. The sutra says that senses are just the doors, the receiving stations, the mediums, the instruments, the receptors, and you are there in an invisible form as energy. When vividly aware through some particular sense, keep in the awareness. Be present there. When you're hearing the music, do not forget yourself in the ears, because it is you who is hearing the music through the instrument of the ears. Remember the awareness that is hidden behind the ears. Be alert. While you are seeing someone, remember this too well. Then slowly and slowly you will become aware and you will not lose the essence. You will always be present. You can try it right now. You are listening to me. And even when you are reading something, feel you are indeed listening to me. You are reading any of my post or writing. Feel as if I am speaking to you and you are listening to it. Feel what is happening. You will have a totally different quality. You can look at someone by the eyes, and when I say by the eyes, I mean you are not aware that you are hidden behind the eyes. You can look at someone through the eyes. You pass through the door, not by the door, not from the door. You look at someone through the eyes, not by the eyes. You can look at someone through eyes, and when I say through the eyes, then eyes are just in between you and me. You are standing there behind the eyes in the form of energy, the invisible, looking through the eyes. The seer is different. The eyes, just as if someone looks through the window or the glasses. I am speaking to you. I am looking at also. Have you seen a clerk in an office looking from above his glasses. The glasses have slipped down on his nose and he looks. Just look that way at anyone as if you are looking from above the eyes, as if the eyes have slipped down a little on your nose and you are standing behind looking at the person. Suddenly you will feel a change in the quality. Your focus changes, eyes become the door, a medium. There becomes, you enter into the state of meditation. When hearing, just hear through the ears and remain aware of your inner center, the center that is hearing through the ears. When touching, touch through the hand and remember one who is hidden behind the touch always. From any sense you can have a feeling of inner center. You can use your eyes, you can use your ears, you can use your touch as the medium. This is a sense perception. And through that you can go to the inner center, the energy, the one that activates a particular center. It is the electric current that activates your electrical appliance. Electrical appliance is the hardware. The software is different. Your eyes, your ears, your nose, they are like hardware. It is the invisible you, the energy that activates it. The faculty that is being used has to report. That is why when you are seeing me, you are hearing me. When you see me through the eyes and you hear me through the ears, deep down within you know the person that you are seeing and the person that you are hearing is the same. Whom you are seeing and hearing. If I have some body odor, there is a smell. It may be odor. Your nose will smell it too. Then 3 different sense reports to the center. That is why you can coordinate. Otherwise it will be difficult. If your eyes see and your ears hear, it will be difficult to know whether you are hearing the same person whom you are seeing or not, or whether the person whom you are hearing is a different one. Because these 2 senses are different and they never meet. They carry the stimuli and place it in some place. Your eyes have never known anything about your ears, and your ears have not heard anything about your eyes. They do not know each other, they do not meet, they have never met, they have never been introduced to one another. So, how does everything become synthetic? How does everything become coordinated? Ears hear, eyes see, hands touch, nose smells, and suddenly, somewhere inside you, know that this is the same man that you are seeing, hearing, smelling, and touching. This knower is different from the senses. Every sense reports to this knower, and in this knower, in the center, everything falls, fits, and becomes one. This is miraculous. In the inner space, the eyes carry their information, ears carry their information, nose and touch, hands carry their information. There the information is processed and coordinated, and the ultimate result comes in that the person that you are hearing, seeing, touching is the same. I am one, and outside you, I am one. My body and body's presence, my body order, my speaking, all are one. Your senses will divide me. Your senses will divide me, your ears will report. If I say something, your nose will report. If there is some smell, your eyes will report. If I can be seen and I am visible to you, they will divide me into parts. But again, somewhere within you, I become one. I am outside you, separate, because there are different reporters reporting about one particular incident. I am speaking and they are reporting. I am hearing a man, I am seeing a man, I am feeling the touch of a man, and I smell a pleasant smell. When I become one within you, your center of being, within you is your center of being. Where I become one within you is the center of your being. And what is the center of your being? Is your awareness. Your awareness is the center of your being, and you have forgotten it completely. You have to remember this. This forgetfulness is ignorance. Forgetfulness that it is the awareness, it is the center that hears everything and does everything. This forgetfulness is ignorance, and awareness will open the door of self-knowledge. And you cannot know yourself in any other way. Shiva says, when vividly aware through some particular sense, keep it in the awareness. Remain with awareness, keep in the awareness, remain alert. It is difficult in the beginning. You may miss it many times. We go on falling asleep, and it seems arduous to look through the eyes. It is easier to look by the eyes, but through the eyes you have to remember, eyes are the medium. It is someone else who is seeing through the eyes. In the beginning you will feel a certain strain if you try to look through the eyes. Not only will you feel a strain, the person you look at will also feel some kind of a strain when you go on looking at someone. If you look at someone through the eyes, he will feel that you are trespassing upon him, as if you are doing something unmannerly. That is what is called when you stare at someone. And this particular term, when you are looking at someone constantly, is known as staring. If you look through the eyes, the other will become aware suddenly that you are not behaving properly, because your look will become very piercing. That is the look of the Master. Your look will go deeper into the person, very deep into the person. If it comes from your depth, it will penetrate to the other's depth. That is why society has a built-in security. It says not to look deeply into someone unless you are in love. If you look at someone very deeply, the person will feel something within. If you are in love, you can look deeply into the other. You can penetrate to the very depth because the other is not afraid. Otherwise, when we use the term staring, the person becomes uncomfortable. The other can be naked, totally naked. The other can be vulnerable, and the other can be open to you. But ordinarily, you are not in love. You are not allowed to see directly. You are not allowed to see penetratingly. First try with objects. Look at the flower deeply. Look at the tree. Look at the stars in the night. They will not feel trespassed. They will not feel at all. Rather, they will like it and will feel good and appreciated. First try with them and then with loving persons. Your wife, your child, your husband first. Look penetratingly at them. Sometimes take your child into your lap and look at him through the eyes. The child will understand. He will understand more than anyone else because he is still uncrippled by the society, is still unperverted, is still natural, is still spontaneous. He will feel deep love if you look through the eyes. He will feel your presence there. He will feel your presence in that look. Look at your lover or beloved. And then only by and by you will get the feeling of it, and as you become more artful about it, you will be available to look at anyone for that matter. Because then no one will be able to know that somehow that someone has looked so deeply. And once you have known this art, once you have understood this, always be alert behind your senses. When the senses are going through their activity, you are behind them, you are aware. Otherwise, senses will deceive you. In the world which is not a world, in a world which is just an appearance, they have deceived you to feel as if real. If you can look through the senses and remain alert, the world will by and by appear to you as illusory, dreamlike, and you will be able to penetrate to the substance, to the very substance of it. And what is that substance? Is the Brahman, of which we are composed, consciousness, the omnipresent God, the omnipresent, omniscient, omnipresent, in a world which is just an appearance. They have deceived you to feel as if it is real. If you can look through the senses and remain alert, the world will by and by appear to be, the world that you see around, to be illusory, dreamlike, and you will be able to penetrate to the substance, to go to its core, to its innermost depth, to the very substance of it. And that substance is God. That substance is Brahman. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care. If this live streaming is not available on Facebook today, it will be available tomorrow. Until then, take care.